live from wherever they happen to be. It's Fortune Radio. With your host, Aaron Silverstein.
I went out to the Lions Lair open mic, and it was rad. This guy, Random Temple, is hosting it now, and he's a cool guy. And there's a lot of good players, and I had a really good time. Tried to get Kelly to go. She said no multiple times. And then there was an after party. I mean, I played late, plus we stayed until last call. Ran into the one they call X. This motherfucker's basically like Prince. He's like a new age Prince with dreadlocks. Kid has mad soul. He can sing. He can play. He's rocking this baritone guitar, and we almost got into it. I was fucking walking by him, walking outside. He's like, "Oh, John Lennon's here," and I walked outside, and I was like, "What? They're talking about me." I went inside, and there's like 3 or 4 black dudes right at the door, and I'm like, "You got jokes?" to this one guy. And he looks over to X. He doesn't say a word. He just looks directly at X. And I look at X, and X is like, "What?" You know, he didn't say anything. But I was like, okay, this is the motherfucker that says I look like John Lennon. So I said, "Hey, you got jokes?" And he's like, "What?" He's like, "Well, you can dog on my gear." What did he even say? I don't know what he even said. He like lifted up his jacket, and he was like, "What? Say something about my gear." And he was rocking like a dope denim jacket, ripped up, fucking patched up with flannel. I was like, all spray painted. I was like, "No, that's a dope jacket. That's original." You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not trying to dog on that. I can't dog on this motherfucker. He says, "Dog on my shit." I'm like, "I'd rather not." He's like, "Oh," he was ready to get into it. And, you know, guys, it's not necessarily a violent or threatening thing. Guys like to dog on each other. I've never been really into dogging on people, but I got to get better at it. Because it's a form of communication. But anyways, I looked down at his guitar, and I'm like, "Yo, what kind of axe do you have there?" And I'm looking at it, and he's like, "Yeah, it's a special guitar." And I'm like, "Okay, sure. And it's like, it's this 6-string, what is it, a super bass? Or a bass, it's called a bass 6. It's kind of like a baritone that's tuned to standard. So it's kind of like in between a bass guitar and a regular electric guitar. And, which is dope, because I've been trying to get my hands on a baritone for a while. And this fool's just playing one. And, so anyways, I'm like, dude, I set up guitars, and we start talking, and he's like, "Oh yeah, well, I got a buzz on my low E and this, that, and the other." And I was like, "Yeah, dude, we got to exchange information. I'd love to set up that guitar." And he's like, "Okay, well, my phone's dead right now, but, you know, I'll charge it up and we'll get in touch." I was like, "All right." He's like, "Are you playing?" "Yeah." "Are you playing?" "Yeah." "Okay." Turns out he's going on after me. He showed up late too. So anyways, I go on. I have a pretty good set. I mean, it wasn't flawless, but it felt good. I hadn't played out in years, but it just felt right. I mean, Kelly and I were kind of like not getting along, and I was like, "I gotta get out of here. I can't take this energy anymore. Like, I'm going to Lions Lair. Like, I'm doing this, you know? Like, fuck this shit." I just felt it, and I was pulled to go, and I went. Anyways, I had a good set. Got off the stage. Everybody's giving me props. X is like, "Yo," he's got his phone in his hand. He's like, "All right, man, let's exchange information." I'm like, "All right." He's like, "Stick around for my set." I'm like, "Definitely." This girl goes on after me, and then he's on stage doing sound checks, getting ready. And I go up on stage, and I kind of give him an arm punch, nothing like aggressive or anything, just like, you know, just make some contact with him. Just say, "Hey, man, you look like Prince right now. Kill it," you know? Because I had to go back up on stage to grab my Corona because I left it up there. He looks at me. He's like, "Oh, thanks, man." He's like, He's like, can I use your guitar for my set? And I brought my Gibson SG, which I mean, is like my baby. And I'm sitting there like, should I do this? But then I'm like, I don't know, man. I trust this guy. Like, I trust this fucking guy. I don't think he's gonna hurt my guitar. Yeah, I think he's really a player, and I think everything's gonna be okay. You know. And I'm like, all right, give it to him. Get the strap back on. Get the quarter-inch plugged in. Give it to him. He's like, you have a name for her? I was like, Brown Betty. He's like, hell yeah. And I was just like stoked. Like, I don't know, naming his guitar something that he does too. And it's just a way to connect with your guitar. Some people do it. BB King did it. Fucking a lot of guitarists name their guitars. But anyway, he goes on stage, has a great set, super soulful, and he's playing my SG, and I'm just like, damn, this is crazy, man. Like, how crazy is this? And then he says, you know, he gets off the stage, and we're meeting up. He's there with his boy, and we're all talking. Turns out there's an after party. It's like, all right, man, yeah, I'm into it. It was like 2:30, and I was not expecting to stay out super late. I left at probably like 9:30. So, and I didn't tell Kelly I was staying out. She knew I was at the Lions lair, but she ended up calling me after I was at the after party. So, you know, yeah, I fucked up a little bit. I'm not gonna deny that. I should have called her and told her I was going somewhere. You know, she was worried about me. That's legitimate. So I'm not saying I'm completely not to. I'm not saying like I'm a. Listen, I'm not saying I'm not to blame. Not 100% to blame. It's like I'm playing out again. This is what I'm gonna do. Like this is part of it. It's a network. It's not like you have to. It's just like if you want to. But it's just like if you. It's part of it. You know. I made a connection with these people, and I wanted to go to the after party, so I went. And yeah, had a really badass time. The Wellington Art Collective, and it was fucking sick. Really fucking sick. And it was another moment of faith. That was the thing, is like, when I handed X my guitar, it was a moment of faith. And it didn't have anything to do with God. It was just faith in mankind. My guitar is going to be okay. And then we went to this collective, and it's kind of close to downtown, and it's kind of a shady area. And I got my guitar and my pedals and my backpack, and I'm like, oh, dude, there's no way I'm leaving my shit in the back of my car. Like, the mayor's car got broken into. People's cars get broken into in the city and all over the country. I'm sure all over the world. Anyways, so I bring it inside with me, and then I'm like, okay, shit, because I hear the fucking loud music as I'm approaching the door, and I'm like, damn, okay, so what? I'm just gonna leave my shit in here, and it's like somehow going to be safer than in my car, and I'm like, no, whatever. So X kind of goes behind this door, and he goes upstairs. I'm like, hey man, can I leave my stuff? Because he had to drop his guitar somewhere too. I'm like, hey man, can I leave my guitar somewhere with you, or next to your gear? Next to your shit. And he's like, yeah. So we go upstairs, and I'm like, yeah, there's, I'm like, okay, I'm doing this. Another act of faith. Fucking, I'm gonna leave my shit up here, and hopefully my shit doesn't get stolen. But it was fine. It was fine. And I trusted it. I did. I was like, I trust this full X. He trusts this place. So I trust this place. That's it. End of story. And it was great. It was a great after hours place. It felt like a speakeasy. And I felt fucking honored to be invited there. And I really enjoyed all the people there. The owner of the place was really fucking badass. It was just a really legit night. I was playing chess with some fools. Like, it was crazy. It was awesome. And yeah, I'm gonna go back because that place is legit. It's a really cool place. Anyways, I have to go back to work. I just feel fucking sick, man. And Kelly's texting me, and I feel sick. Because I thought she was the one. I thought we were going to be together forever. I really did. But I guess I'm just super naive still. I can't be saying that because I don't feel naive. Like I trusted her, and really we've got trust issues. So it's not going to work. She's moving out, and that's fine. I took the high road. There are a lot of things I wanted to say to her, but I was just like, that's gonna start an argument and set a fire that I don't want, and like I really don't want to hurt this girl any more than I already have. The thing that sucks the most is she was pissed when I got home, obviously, and she stayed up late. She fucking called my grandma and whatever, we're talking, and she's like really fucking pissed off. Finally, eventually ease her mind and mend the situation, and everything's fine, and we go to sleep and everything's fine. You know? And then she wakes me up at fucking 5 in the morning and she's fucking singing loudly negative shit. And she shakes my leg and she wakes me up. Oh, I love you, honey. Like sarcastically. And then she fucking leaves. She slams the door. So now I'm awake. And I'm fucking sleeping off a bender. I stayed up all fucking night before. It's just like, I can't believe this. I thought we were good. You know? I thought we were fine. And I text her and I'm like, hey, what's going on? Are you okay? What's going on? What's on your mind? She goes into all this shit and it turns out she read my journal. Didn't like what she saw in there. And it's not the first time she's read my journal, and I've been hiding it from her, but I forgot to hide it from her. I left it out on the table. She fucking read it. And she was looking for trouble, and she fucking found trouble, man. And she fucking left me this 3-page note inside my journal and turned it around and made me feel like the bad guy. And it's because the main thing that pissed her off in the journal is like, and it's kind of greasy, I guess, and I'll tell you right now, but it's like, this is something I would never say to her face, but it's something that I think, something that I write down, so I can get it out of my head, get it out of my body, onto paper, right? And out of my fucking body. And the sentiment is, as long as we're being physical, we're having sex together, I can really let a lot of stuff slide. I really can. I'll pay the bills. I'll fucking put up with a lot of shit. You know what I mean? The more sex I'm getting, the more I'm willing to put up with. And I guess that sounds like a really shitty thing. I understand that. But it's fucking true, and I think a lot of guys understand that. So anyways, she's pretty pissed about that, obviously. But it's like, you know, I'm patient with her. But then she makes me sound, I don't know. So I just feel sick. And I'm walking towards work right now. But I feel hopeful. I talked to my brother, Luis Chavez, very talented drummer, grower, just a friend from way back. And I'm going to start a band. And it's going to be fucking sick. X is going to be in it. He's into it. Luis is going to be on drums. He's into it. And keep going down. So, definitely reaching the point where I'm getting to the main strip. And I'm starting to feel like a weirdo for talking to myself. So, I'm going to sign off. Thanks for listening to Fortune Radio. Stay tuned for more. Much love. Talk soon.